hung low in the sky, casting an eerie silver light over the old stone mansion at the edge of town. Jessica had heard the rumors, the whispers of ghosts and strange happenings, but she was desperate for a place to stay. The mansion's new owner, an enigmatic man named Mr. Graves, had offered her a job as a live-in caretaker. With nowhere else to go, she had accepted. As she unpacked her bags in the dimly lit room assigned to her, Jessica couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The wallpaper, a faded floral print, seemed to ripple like water when she turned her back. She told herself it was just her imagination, a trick of the light, and tried to focus on her duties. Days passed without incident. Mr. Graves kept to himself, rarely seen outside his study. Jessica busied herself with cleaning and maintaining the vast, labyrinthine estate. Yet, at night, she heard things, soft footsteps, whispers, and once, the faintest sound of sobbing. The more she explored, the more she felt the house was alive, breathing around her, its ancient walls hiding secrets she was better off not knowing. One evening, Jessica found a door she hadn't noticed before, concealed behind a heavy tapestry in the east wing. She hesitated, hand on the doorknob, a chill running down her spine. Pushing the door open, she stepped into a small, dust-covered room. In the center stood an old leather-bound book on a pedestal, its cover intricately embossed with strange symbols. Drawn to it, she opened the book and began to read. The pages were filled with disturbing illustrations and descriptions of dark rituals. As she flipped through, a name caught her eye: Lillian Graves. The book detailed how Lillian, decades ago, had been accused of witchcraft and sacrificed in a gruesome ritual to bind her spirit to the mansion, ensuring prosperity for the Graves family. Jessica felt a cold hand on her shoulder and spun around to see Lillian's ghost, her eyes hollow and filled with sorrow. "Help me," she whispered, her voice like the rustling of dead leaves. Heart pounding, Jessica fled the room, the book's sinister words echoing in her mind. That night, she dreamt of the ritual, of Lillian's screams, and of the blood that stained the stone floor of the hidden chamber. Determined to uncover the truth, Jessica began researching the mansion's history. She discovered that the Graves family had long been rumored to practice dark magic, and Lillian's death was shrouded in mystery and fear. It was said that her spirit lingered, seeking justice and release from her torment. Armed with this knowledge, Jessica confronted Mr. Graves. She found him in his study, the air thick with the scent of old books and cigar smoke. "Mr. Graves, I need to know about Lillian," she demanded. He looked up from his desk, his eyes cold and unreadable. "Lillian is none of your concern," he said flatly. "She's trapped here because of your family's curse," Jessica insisted. "I found the book. I know what happened to her." Mr. Graves's expression darkened. "You don't understand. The curse binds her here, and if you meddle, it will bind you too." Ignoring his warning, Jessica returned to the hidden room that night. She stood before the book, determined to free Lillian. "What do I need to do?" she whispered. Lillian's apparition appeared again, her eyes filled with desperation. "You must perform the reversal ritual," she said, pointing to a passage in the book. Jessica followed the instructions, gathering the required items and drawing the necessary symbols. As she chanted the ancient incantation, the air grew heavy and the temperature plummeted. Shadows writhed around her, and she felt a malevolent presence closing in. The final words left her lips and appeared piercing scream filled the room. Lillian's ghost twisted and writhed, her form breaking apart like mist in the wind. A powerful force slammed into Jessica, knocking her to the ground. She lay there, gasping for breath, as the room slowly returned to normal. But something was wrong. As Jessica stood, she realized she could see through her own hands. Panic set in as she looked around, seeing her own body lying lifeless on the floor. She was the ghost now, bound to the mansion, trapped in a horrifying twist of fate. Lillian's voice echoed in the room, a mix of sorrow and relief. "I'm free. Thank you." Jessica tried to scream, to call for help, but no sound came out. She was the new guardian of the mansion, doomed to wander its halls, waiting for another soul brave enough to discover the truth and take her place.